Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for your warm welcome and introduction. And I am very honored to be taking part in this special occasion for your school and your staff. I bring greetings from the U.S. Consulate General of Chennai, Andrew Simpkins. I speak for all of us at the U.S. Consulate when I say that we are encouraged by your school holding a United Nations Organization Day, full of activities modeling what both of our great nations desire, international peace. For generations in our world's history, we have studied and read about individuals seeking to live in unity, harmony, and peace. There have been many universal world signs for peace. Sometimes it's 2 fingers raised, the dove, or a circle with 3 prongs. While these are symbols and reminders of peace, a word we hear used on television and written frequently in the headlines of world newspapers, I'd like to refresh our knowledge and memory of the word. Peace is defined as the absence of war or other hostilities, an agreement or a treaty to end hostilities, freedom from quarrels and disagreement, and harmonious relations. It's inner contentment, serenity, and peace of mind. As citizens of India, you should be proud of the long history of peace that you were born into. The world looks at India as a mecca on how to find inner peace. As I just read, peace is intercontentment, serenity, and peace of mind. I've only been living in your country for almost a month exactly. However, one of the many things that was said to me upon people hearing of my moving to India was, expect to find yourself in a very calm state. Know that it will be hard for you to leave in 2 years because India will teach you to be happy with who you are, and in turn, that happiness will help you find your purpose. The internal peace that India will bring you will almost make you afraid to leave for fear of losing it. Yes, to many Westerners as myself, we also tie in the peace of India in the promotion of meditation, yoga, and natural homeopathic healing. And while that is true, your country has given us more than the tools to assist in finding peace of mind. You have given us life examples of absence of war and other hostilities, being able to agree and to end hostilities and live harmoniously. India and its people have given nations, races, and religious groups all over the world a long-standing example, model, and symbol of peace in Mahatma Gandhi. When I was developing my address for today, I tried to stay away from using Gandhi in any way because I'm sure you hear a lot about Gandhi in school and in your community all the time. However, it is impossible to be living in India for the first time in my life and addressing Indian students without sharing the impact that he has had on the American people. Growing up in America, I remember studying Gandhi in school in the 8th grade. We watched the movie over the course of several days. We saw and discussed how Gandhi went about trying to make a change without the forceful use of violence. We engaged in conversations about his willingness to die and be physically tortured by officers of the law in the name of peace. Until days before I was leaving to journey here to India, it had been nearly 16 years since I'd watched the movie depicting Gandhi's life. As an adult, I found myself able to grasp more the full extent of what his actions meant for me and the world. To understand that he gave up food, was wrongly imprisoned, and risked his life every day knowing that at any time it could be taken from him. Not only did he do it, he did it with joy and peace. He was willing to pay the ultimate price of his life to achieve justice and unity and equal humanity rights for his people. There is a Christian hymn that came to mind as I was reflecting on Gandhi the other day. It was written in 1873 when Gandhi would have been approximately 4 years old by an American lawyer, Horatio Spafford. Horatio Spafford wrote this song upon hearing the news that his 4 daughters had been killed tragically in a boating accident. When I was writing about Gandhi for today, the words of his song began playing in my head over and over again. The song he wrote was entitled, "It Is Well With My Soul." And the words are, when peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. Though we will never understand or be able to conceptualize Gandhi's inner strength and the willpower he possessed, we know from his words and actions that despite the irony of him dying in a violent way, we know that he was at peace and that it was well with his soul. Because we are here today and India is a free nation, we know his death was not in vain. I can tell you Gandhi's principles were carried on decades later in America. It was the example of Gandhi's continued nonviolence approach that was the forefront model for American civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. as he pushed for equal rights and treatment of blacks in America. My parents were born into segregation and experienced what was referred to at the time as Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow laws in America said that blacks couldn't go to certain movie theaters, or blacks could only use certain water fountains, or blacks could only eat in certain parts of restaurants. However, I did not face the same challenges as my parents. I grew up being able to go to any movie theater I wanted, and I was able to attend a school without a label. I didn't have to experience being told to go to a school based on the color of my skin. My ability to live and function without being defined day in and out based on my skin color ties back to the international symbol of peace Gandhi has served as, and India too. Gandhi had a sense of strength, courage, and contentment and commitment that has not been seen since his time. The impact of his actions and sacrifice are still living on through people like myself who are able to experience a life of human equality in America. Though Gandhi had been dead many years before the civil rights movement in America, it was still his role and leadership style that inspired Martin Luther King Jr. It intrigued and awed Dr. King of Gandhi's peaceful and selfless approach. That inspiration in a way to pay respect to the man and country who gave not only Dr. King hope, but the entire world hope that one can fight for justice and battle any situation without weapons, killing or harming people. The Indian nation showed blacks in America that they could survive by turning the other cheek and the power of practicing nonviolence. All of you and I are forever connected. Your ancestors' courage gave my ancestors hope that it would be possible to obtain equality in America through peaceful resistance. Because of your families, I'm allowed to serve as a member of the United States Foreign Service. I'm able to have access to anything without restrictions. That is why, for me, when I think of international peace, I will forever link it back to India. Martin Luther King said these words while visiting India in 1959. Since being in India, I am more convinced than ever before that the method of nonviolent resistance is the most potent weapon available to oppress people in their struggle for justice and human dignity. In a real sense, Mahatma Gandhi embodied in his life certain universal principles that are inherent in the moral structure of the universe. And these principles are inescapable as the law of gravitation. I often wonder what Martin Luther King and Gandhi would think of the many wars going on today. I wonder what actions they would take to promote and further international peace in our world. Though I don't know what their approach would be, I do know that they would take great pride in the very activity that you are participating in today, and that we are celebrating young people learning and modeling the United Nations organization. As I have already stated, the country and people of India have been at the forefront of international peace. This is also represented by India being among the original members of the United Nations that signed the Declaration of the United Nations in Washington, D.C. in January of 1942. So today, young men and women, you are doing exactly what is needed to help us as a world. You are learning the skill sets of negotiation, learning to agree to disagree, learning that your solution to a problem and your teammate's solution can be merged together, helping you to see the benefits of teamwork. Everything that you have been doing to prepare for this event is something that you will be able to carry on in life. I know some of you may dream of attending universities within India and some desire to study abroad. But regardless of where you go in the world and what profession or career path you choose, know this: employers are looking for team players. You are the next generation, and the world needs you to lead it as international peacemakers. As you move on and grow older and wiser, remember these few but powerful words of Gandhi: you must be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you.